Oh, it looks like I can stream on YouTube now. That's wonderful. So I'm streaming there too, in case you want to go over there, Max. All right, well, I'm in. Let's see what we do here. I mean, obviously we're looking like we got some selling happening. I was anticipating, this move down to his area, but now the question is, are we just going to keep dumping? Looking pretty sell heavy. I need to move this stop. All right, well, it's on. Let's just see what's up. Oh, copy that, Adam. You got a nice short scalp out of that. That's good. Nice, dude. Base hits. That's what's up. What's the point conversion? So 4 points on ES equals roughly how many points on NQ? Do you know that conversion? I could ask ChatGPT. What is the point conversion between NQ and ES?
Sure. When you're looking at the NASDAQ 100 futures, NQ, and the S&P 500 futures, the point values differ a bit. For the ES, each point is worth $50. In other words, if the ES moves 1 point up or down, that translates to a
Yeah, I'm looking for, can you give me a rough conversion rate of when let's say ES moves 4 points, how many points is that on NQ typically? Not monetarily, but looking for how many points.
I get what you mean. You're talking more about the typical movement relationship between ES and NQ rather than dollar values. In general, NQ tends to be a bit more volatile than ES, so if the ES moves about 4 points, you might see the NQ move roughly in the range of 10 to 15 points. It's not an exact fixed ratio, but that's a pretty good ballpark.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Cool. That's a nice little scalp. Hoping we can pick up some velocity here. Otherwise, I'm going to think that we're going to continue going lower, and I might just pull my profit. Looking like we could be going for lower prices. This might invert right here. I'm going to leave my stop there trailed pretty tight. I think if this candle turns red, I don't want to be in this. All right. Well, got stopped out. I don't know, Adam. You might your short spidey sense might be right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put a fib on this move up that we did. 2540 is looking like another spot we could potentially bounce from. All of this is certainly looking bearish, but and you know, this is not looking like a trend day to me. It's looking like we're ranging inside this value area. So I don't know, we could see a deeper push now on the short side. Not really sure. I need to kind of reassess because everything I was thinking I think was kind of incorrect on my bias on what type of day, what kind of market conditions we have. Because right now, this is, when I'm looking at this looks less trendy and more like it could have been a swing manipulation. Especially seeing this price action here. I don't know. But right now could be a good entry. I might take a stab short. Basically, my trade got invalidated, and my entry was right at an invalidation point. It is tough going against all these orders here, but it's looking like this gap is going to get closed under. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me turn that shit down. Okay, cool. I'm gonna trail pretty aggressively. Just, I mean, I'm not loving this price action, and so like if I'm taking these moves based on like what I'm seeing momentum wise, it's looking like, you know, it can flip pretty quickly. So I'm gonna keep it super safe today because this price action has already proven that it can fake me out a couple times, or more than a couple times. Yeah, I care more about functionality. Artistic approach. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's looking weak here, but I just don't have a ton of confidence in this price action. A little squirrely. watching this area right here, this 2540. Like it's, obviously this is selling and into this area, but I still think that it's possible we could bounce up. So I think basically what I'm saying is that I don't have a lot of confidence right now in taking moves. We did bounce off of this value area high, 50%. Right here. I think I just got to have some levels drawn out and see how we react at them, because I just don't have a ton of confidence in the way the price is moving. And until I think a catalyst comes into the market, which is going to be hitting, a key level where there's some strong volume that pops in, I think we could be a little lethargic. $11.23. Let's see. Coming into lunch session. Yeah, you're talking about if it breaks low a day, yeah. If we break this low a day, that would be nuts. Yeah, that would be nuts. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, guys. Be right back. That's why you want a closer entry though for lower prices because to be honest, it's actually closer to a bull push than a bear dump.
Yo, yeah, what tizzy?
Yeah, I think below this 50% fib could be good.
Feeling it. However long it takes, man. I'll still be here. You know what I'm saying? Yo, new year, new money, but it's the same old me. Need the yard that don't come cheap before I get 8 gold teeth. They wanna play with sticks and stones, I'm calling them Jamie T.
Alright, baby.
Up chasing
Love you.
boys like Sonic, but trust me, they don't sleep. Play my songs out of whip. She said keep that shit on repeat. Gotta calculate steps, I gotta take a step back and breathe. Life got busy, I turned 18. Moved out, all that I had was a dream. Wanna see all of my people free, but I ain't Martin Luther. Nah, I just get on the stage and sing.
What is this?
Better be ready for stress that all of that paper bring. ADHD, I can't wait for shit. Do my own thing, I hate the script. My man looks like a clone of my man.
Get out of here with that. I don't like this, man. It's like price action is just feeling super whack. Looking like it's going short. I mean, at least, let's say, for the time being, you know? Looks like there's just not a lot of buying interest. Okay, Mars. Looking like we have some accumulation down here. I'm gonna try a little scalp. Well, that didn't work out. I don't know. Looking super bearish. These guys are bowing out, it looks like. Or they did up here already. I don't know. I feel like I'm going against the grain trying to take longs here. Yep, I'd say so. Past that 50% Fibonacci like it was butter. I don't know, man. I don't know where he's at, but you got a pretty good hit rate whenever your short spidey sense is going off, dude. So I've learned to when you're thinking short, I've learned to keep that to go counter my whatever my idea is. This is the previous day high right here, around 24,950, or I guess it 24,945. Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I think that it's just whenever I'm like, oh, this is going long, you're like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of looking for shorts or whatever. It's a good grounding mechanism for me. And then because I've seen your shorts work out when I'm like, damn, dude, this doesn't look like it's going short, because I've seen it work out, makes me second guess. Oh yeah, dude, your mom definitely would have told you should have held that. If it was going to make this big of a move, why didn't you hold it? Whoa, I've never seen that before. What the hell was that? All right, well, looks like we could potentially bounce off a VWAP. Not sure, though. Yeah. I'm going to hop on the higher time frame, see what's going on the hourly. All right, so it looks like a 4-hour reversal candle. So maybe 2 p.m. is when we could expect a potential bearish expansion candle coming off this reversal 4-hour. I'm going to go to the 1 hour. Let's see what's up. 1 hour V-shaped reversal. Bearish engulfing. So based on this hourly, you know, depending on where this closes, this hourly candle, then we might expect, you know, a pullback not beyond 50% of the length of this red candle here. Pullback and then continuation short. That would be like my higher time frame analysis. Now, could this be a potential? This looks, you know, somewhat equal to the sell-off from yesterday. Could this just be a pullback to continue to go longer? It could be. But considering we're in this higher time frame gap, pulled up, swept this high, and now moving down with a bearish engulfing, looking likely that we could see a move down. Look at this piece of shit. So unlucky lately. I feel you, brother. It was looking like we were gonna have a trend day, and then we just immediately just got stuffed up here. I mean, typical market shit, you know. We're gonna go hit that low a day that I thought was not gonna be possible. I think the move of the day is from here down to here. Were you short and you let go of it pretty quickly? Well, I'd say that's not luck then, or not bad luck. So based on probabilities, there's about a 20% chance, right, based on the data, that we actually hit this low now. Definitely could be an anomaly kind of day, but just something to keep in mind. We got a 20% chance after hitting this that we're going to hit this. All signs are pointing toward us taking this out, though. What do you mean there, Adam? Allowing option players to hit it? You're talking about this low a day? That's probably a good move, Max. Like the entry you had was wishful thinking it'll work, but statistically unlikely, which is why you sold. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice W, dude. You know, one thing I should look at, I can actually do it right now, is pull up the statistics on the initial balance when there's a wide range like this. Let's check it out. Hey, fuck off, dude. Same stats, basically. So looking at the initial balance range here. Let me stretch this out. So basically I can select between all these. %, chance that it's only a single break, not a double break. I don't know. It's getting mighty close to this. Wow. Completely engulfed the move. Oh, one of the things I was looking at. You know, I actually, I can't believe I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at this last night. On Wednesdays in particular, the double break stats are much higher. So look at Monday, look at Tuesday, look at Wednesday right here. So here's Monday, here's Tuesday, here's Wednesday. Much higher double break chance. Thursday, Friday. The increase on Wednesday for double breaks, I can't believe I wasn't even considering that, but that's pretty useful. Like once it taps the 6654 SPX level, it was a high likely of dumping. And bears want to be greedy, definitely, because you can use the next zone to 6600. And honestly, if you were a big player, why not do that? Make the daily look atrocious. For my entry, premiums are up 450%. In a better position financially. I can't wait. We'll have to go on a nice vacation. Fuck yeah, dude. Man, sometimes I've got to write stuff down or at least put it in Discord. I took a screenshot. Check this out. Last night I took a screenshot because I wanted to share it with you guys. Here it is. Oh, also, I mean, this is ridiculous too. Look at this. I wanted to share this with you guys. That is the chances of retracing to the midnight price for Wednesday specifically. Extremely high. Sorry, I'm having a hard time because it's mirrored. There you go. Extremely high chance of retracing to the midnight price. So I took that screenshot, and I thought maybe I didn't take the other screenshot, but I was looking at this, and I was thinking, or I was looking and seeing that Wednesday has a much higher chance of doing the double break. So basically, once this imbalance is put in, you tap this imbalance high, there's a much higher chance on Wednesday for this to go hit this imbalance low. So it was late last night, and I completely forgot. So super high chance of actually hitting the midnight price, which we probably just did, right? Where is it? Actually, no. Midnight is down here. So we got a high chance of actually going to hit this. And on the short side, let me look at that. Let me look at that stat again. If we open above, okay, we got a 78% chance. It's not crazy. If we open below, we have a 94% chance of hitting the midnight open. That's crazy. And that's from January to now. So, good stats to have. Should have kept that in the back of my mind that there was a almost 40% chance that this was going to happen. I mean, price action and order flow over everything. But it's good to have those stats in the back of your mind to, get you confluence. Man, I feel like I've, kind of missed the bulk of both of these moves here. kind of shitty. Now we might expect us to kind of do what we did up here. Might have some chopping around to do. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. I mean, at the very least, we've really followed this value area structure nicely today. Yeah, are you looking to take it short? I'm trying to figure out how far this pullback is going to go. It's right at the previous day high right here. It just tapped the previous day high at 24,945. got the 12 p.m. candle hitting in 30 seconds. Let's go back to this 4 hour, 1 hour. All right, so about 50% of this is around that 2,500 or 25,000. Right above VWAP, so yo, what's up? What's up, Mint Dog? How are you doing today? Oh no, my price is off again. Okay, it caught up, I think. Trying a little scalp here. Right at the point of control, and the VWAP might see some resistance here, so probably just close up. I think my price might be off. This is so stupid. Let me check. 65, 67, 65, 67. Yep, sure is. The chart's good now. It was just like it was what was happening the other day, and I don't have really a good solution yet. But essentially, I can keep track. Like if you look over here, see this is the bid and the ask, and what was happening just now is the bid and the ask was off. The bid and the ask is always right here, but my chart sometimes will lag behind or something. And so this isn't representative of what the actual price is. So when I just got in that quick scalp, it was like price was already ahead of where I thought it was. Basically, I was getting in like here, but price was already like up here. So in any case, this chart is correct. Now, let's see if I switch to my regular chart, if it holds. Looks right. Honestly, I think a lot of it is related to like my computer being maxed out, like the processor being maxed out. So like the chart rendering is lagging behind because of that. Really what it comes down to is I need to, like where I'm at, I want to replace my CPU, but if I replace my CPU, it's like I might as well get a new motherboard and RAM and all that, and it's just gonna be a project to like transfer everything. So I think I'm just procrastinating on it. Basically, I need to do it over the weekend where I basically get a new computer. Nice bounce from VWAP here and the point and control right here. I don't know. This looks like a pretty good rejection here. This is the 1 minute. Let me check out the 5 minute. Looks pretty decent. Might go take this low. I don't know. Yeah, this candle here is not very great. We might come back up to 25,000. Why not great? What do you mean, Mint Dog? Why not great? Oh, you're asking why Adam doesn't like that? I think it was probably because of this rejection candle here coming down. It got picked back up immediately. I'm going to be watching this level 25,000. Not going to lie, though, this bullish structure here on these candles, looking like we got a little momentum. other than this being the 50%, we don't have a ton. Well, I guess we have this gap here. This gap right here. This is also the, I believe, first presented fair value gap. Yeah, this is it. First presented fair value gap. So pretty important. Pretty important gap that we might be retracing to. Yeah, indeed. We could just be looking at a potential range within here. Mint Dog, that's a really good question. So for me, you know, it's all about analyzing price action at points of interest. So right now, we've got two pretty strong points of interest right here. This is the point of control, this dash line, and this is the VWAP. Both of these strong levels. This up here is the first presented fair value gap, and it's also 50% of this move down, which tends to be a likely area to get reaction. If I'm looking at the volume profile, let me scroll back just a little bit. If I'm looking at the volume profile, I'm also keying into areas that have confluence with these areas that are also low volume nodes. So right here where you see these dips in volume, right here, price will tend to gravitate towards those areas for fair market value. So these are kind of the first 2 points of interest I want to be watching. Now, whether I'm going short or long, right now, the dominant trend or the short-term dominant trend is short. Also keeping it in the back of my mind that potential setups could happen from these areas: value area low, value area high. You can see we've had strong reactions off of these levels. This value area high, well, the value areas will change over the course of the day, but this value area high was right here. And so we bounced off it to come back into the range. And so that's definitely one of my setups, is taking trades from this area. Here we had so much selling going on. I wasn't keen on taking this bounce just yet. I did take that short scalp, but wasn't convinced we were going all the way up here. We kind of ran into these areas. So how am I going to decide whether or not I'm going to take a trade now? I'm watching these levels. Because there's not a ton of room right here, I don't think I'm going to take it from this area right here. Looks like we could potentially go short to go take this low here, but I'm not seeing a lot of I guess confirmation that we're doing that. We do have this level we're potentially bouncing off of, but we haven't had a strong bounce from there. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting until we're gonna hit, or if we come up to 25,000, and if we come up to 25,000, I will potentially be looking for a short. Now, if price does something like this, let's say we come up here. Sorry, we come down here, and then we launch up, then I'm not interested in looking at this area for a short. If that happens, I don't think there's a setup for me. I think this is the only area I'm looking at for taking a potential short. And unfortunately, Mint Dog is like, Coming off of yesterday's trend move, long, this was looking like we could be having a repeat of that. And I think that kind of was in my brain that we're going long today and didn't really get a good long setup. I was looking for a long setup potentially down here, but we just kind of melted through it. So, unfortunately, it hasn't been, super great today, for me at least. Had I been a little bit more open-minded this morning, I think I could have taken a short from up here, but it wasn't my mindset this morning to go short. Yeah, this is looking, I don't know. It's looking lackluster right now. It's kind of what I was anticipating, that after this move up and this move down, we might get some kind of lethargic movement on the chart. We're still net positive on cumulative volume delta. You think they're bleeding premiums until the flush? You'll have to explain that. What do you mean by bleeding premiums? Anything that has to do with the options world, dude, I'd love it if if you could be the options guy that looks at options data. That's one part of my analysis that I'd like to add is options flow data. Options do dictate short-term price fluctuations. Okay. Like that's not why I get into trades, but option volume plays a role. Yes, I'm never looking at it, so I would love to have some more insight on options data. That was supposed to be Ben's role. I told him, since you traded options, you should be the options guy that looks at options data, but he's sleeping. He's our mental health guy. Yeah. He's our mental health guy. I like Ben a whole hell of a lot. We play like games together and shit, but his approach to trading pisses me off. It's tough because sometimes I have to put myself in other people's perspective, and I feel like I tend to do that quite a bit because I'm an empath at heart. But even when I do that, it still pisses me off because I'm like, that's not how I would approach things. And I made a post. Or I replied to somebody's post yesterday on X. Let me see what it said. It was definitely applicable. Let's see. Okay, so somebody posted Plan A is trading, Plan B is trading, Plan C is trading. My guy, there is no other plan. And I said, yes. I think it's a huge mistake when people stop trading so they can find a job. The right way to think about it is find a job so you can continue improving as a trader. And that's how I genuinely feel. Exactly, man. And that's the right approach. You know, get a job so you can keep trading and improving as trading. It's not like a one or the other type of situation. And if it is one or the other type of situation, it's like I think you got your priorities fucked up. So did the last two candles signal a downward trend? I'll let Adam chime in on that. I think a huge factor in that is what time frame are you looking at? I think I don't think two consecutive candles signal a trend by itself. I think it has to be within context. There are people that use that as guidance. So 5 minutes with me, so like look at these. These are two consecutive red candles here, and while you might say this indicates a weakness, which it does. It doesn't in itself signal this is the start of a downtrend, I would say, but you could use that. If you see two consecutive candles in a row, you could start looking in that direction, I would say, but a lot of it is based on context because we're coming out of this high with a lot of buying, a lot of selling, a lot of orders happening, and then two consecutive red candles out of that area could just be like, okay, well, this is showing weakness. But it could just be we're pulling back. So I think it has to be within context. And Mint Dog, if you're looking for mechanical sort of entry models, I think maybe what we need to do is like kind of chat about what type of trades you want to be taking, and then I can probably be a little bit more helpful. But if you're looking for, something mechanical, it's like first and foremost, you have to know what type of trades do you want to take. Like, are you thinking about taking like counter trend trades or trend trades? Are you trying to take, like let's say range trades? This would be a range trade coming back into the range. This would be a range trade trading off the bottom. Reversals, fair value gap, continuation trades. So I guess the point is like, have you figured out like what type of trades you like to take or that you're comfortable taking or that seem to work out for you so far? And if you have, I think we can probably chat about that. But like, I don't think you can put too much weight on the amount of consecutive candles you have in one direction or the other. I think, you think about it like you have an equation, and let's say two candles in the opposite direction could be, 10% of what makes up that equation, maybe 20% of what makes up that equation. Taking it from an extremely good area might be, another 20%. Another 20% might have to do with what kind of buying and selling you're seeing happening on the order book, so on and so forth. Yeah, let me catch up with these what you're saying, Adam. I'm obviously not 100% correct, and I do miss moves, but these types of candles I do not like. Put it like this: I am 1,000% content with missing this move if it just dumps right now. Yes, because statistically you will not be over 10 trades like this. I don't care about outliers. It's all about placement and candlestick formation to me, but everyone is different. Yeah. So Mint Dog, can you explain anything more about what your current trading style is or what you're looking for, or you're trying to figure that out right now? That's my assumption is you're potentially trying to figure that out. I think one of the most important things you need to understand is why you would want to key into specific levels. I think the easiest starting point would be like, look at the high of the day, look at the low of the day, look at the previous high of the day, the previous low of the day, and higher time frame candlesticks. Because so like if we're looking at this is the hourly. If we switch to the daily, like looking at the daily time frame will give you potential, values that are, areas that you could potentially start looking for trades. Like at this high, for instance, this high swept this high, and then we came back into the range right here. If we, for instance, went and took the low of yesterday, we would be looking for a reaction in price there. And okay, definitely need a trading style that you like and master it. Yeah. All right, you're definitely looking for a trading style you like. Okay, so I think the first probably question you need to ask yourself is like, do you want to be, probably the 3 different types of trading that I even consider is like, if you're day trading, it's like, are you scalping? Are you scalping for like 20 points? Are you scalping for, 30 points, 10 points? Scalping is very quick in and out. Or are you like a position trader? A position trader would be, taking this move all the way down to here, or potentially like buying this and holding it for the day. Probably most likely scenario is whatever's going to make you money. So you could be a combination of scalping and position trader. That's kind of what I do. Kind of a scalper at heart, but I can hold positions too. So, okay, so let's assume that you're going to have a combination of position holds and scalps. So you want to be looking for areas during the day that you can key in on, because you don't want to just take trades from anywhere. The only exception I think to that rule is when you see really, really like anomaly like order flow, when you can potentially, but let's take that off the table until you're like more experienced. For now, what you want to do is you want to have levels that you're looking at. Like my levels that I'm looking at, I got VWAP, I got the point of control. And if you don't know what the point of control is, the point of control is when you're looking at the volume profile, this is the exact price where the most volume has transacted throughout today. And that's a key level because that tells you there's a lot of interest here, and that's fair value. Now, the other areas I like to watch are these low volume nodes, which I was talking about earlier. So if there's not a lot of transactions there, that means there's more room for transactions here. The simplest way of putting it. You might look up some content on auction market theory for a more in-depth sort of explanation of how the market works and why it moves to these low volume areas. But for now, those are the areas I like to key in on. I also like to key in on specific gaps that are created. Like this gap was created this morning. It's a fair value gap, right? So it's one-sided. There wasn't aggressive selling that transacted within this area until we inverted it right here. So value area high, value area low, point of control, VWAP, gaps that are created in the market, and then previous high or lows. These other wavy lines here are standard deviations away from the VWAP, which tend to be dynamic levels of support and resistance. So pick out the areas you want to key in on. And as a new trader, you might make it a little more simplistic. You might only take trades off of, let's say, like the previous day high or the previous day low. Maybe it's the midnight opening price, like this is the midnight opening price, like where we opened on midnight. Maybe if we come back down to this midnight price, maybe that's an area you're watching to take it long. So now that we've kind of covered like different areas, at least that I watch, what am I looking for within these areas? I'm looking for, like, this is a strong reaction from this area. I was watching I wanted to watch this area for a short, and unfortunately I was a little distracted. But now, so you can see, we came up here, we touched this area that I was watching, and then immediately rejected down here. Had I been paying attention, I potentially would have taken this short, because we had buying happen in this area, and you see we did not have follow through from that buying. So that means that, like, let's say people placed aggressive buy orders here thinking that we're going to start moving up. Well, price rejected from up there. So that means that these people are potentially stuck, right? They're trapped buyers here. I like this potentially short. I'm going to take a, I don't know why that just, what just happened? Okay, so I'm gonna try a short here. I'll put my stop above this area. So this is an example of like a reaction I like to see. Unfortunately, my entry is not that great on it, but it looks like a hard rejection to me, at least in an area that I was watching. So that's the next thing you need to figure out is what's going to dictate you getting into a trade. For me, it's like I want to see a reaction out of it, not just what's showing up on the candlesticks, but I want to see something on the order book that happened. Orders that were placed that either did not have follow through or had follow through. An example of follow through would be this. You have strong buyers entering the market here. You have a strong seller entering the market here, and prices being accepted at higher prices. And you have buyers continuing to buy at higher prices. So here in this situation, the reaction was the opposite of that. You had a big buyer that stepped in that got rejected, which tells you that there's not only passive sellers up here, but that absorbed this, but there's also aggressive sellers that push this price down. Now, whether or not this trade is actually going to work out or not, will depend on what happens in this area, because this was a consolidation area that sent price higher. And now what we're trying to figure out is, will price continue to push down, or are we having the same group of people or entities, participants, market participants, are they going to defend this area and push it up? So I'm always looking at it in terms of like, okay, we have a potential battle area up here, and we have a potential battle area down here, and we have a potential battle area over here. And what I'm trying to observe is who's winning the battle in which areas. So right now, it looked like sellers won the battle from this area. Now we're entering another battle zone. Are there going to be strong enough sellers in here that are aggressive enough to push price down for a continuation to go seek these lows? Or are these same buyers that were here stronger than whatever happened up here, and we might get a retest of this area up here? So dynamic trade management based on what you're seeing in the chart and what's happening behind the scenes, and how price is either respecting or disrespecting levels, is kind of a simplistic way of describing what you should be looking for in the areas that are important to you. Hopefully that helps. And then, you have other, and down here, I have my context as well, and a deeper dive on the right side. What the this is not copy trading. This is really frustrating, this copy trader. What? Okay, cool, Mint Dog. Glad that helped, man. And then, I'll probably keep touching on it because I know that you're looking for, a little bit of guidance on how you want to trade. I also take, statistics and probability into consideration. Like what I was talking about with that chart I had up earlier. Let's see if I can find it again. Yeah, Edgeful. So like these, I like trading in the side of probability typically. So one of the setups I was looking at was that initial balance breakout, right? So initial balance is whatever the first hour forms as a range. So that would be this low as the first hour. This is the initial balance high. This is the initial balance. Oh, sorry. This is the initial balance low. This is the initial balance high. So what this is telling me, let me go to the regular report. And today is one of those anomalies because it's on Wednesday, but let's just say if it's not Wednesday, let's see, standard sub report. So basically, if price touches that higher low that's formed in the first hour, you can see there's an 83%, at least based on the data that this is pulling from, there's an 83% chance that it will not go and touch the low, which means there's a potential long setup if it touches the high, or a potential low or short setup if it touches the low. Now you can dig in even more by saying, let's say by retracement. Let me babysit this trade real quick. I'm a little bummed out that this is not copy trading. But in any case, so when you dig into the data a little bit more, you can see that there's a 60% chance that, let's say it touches the high, that it'll come back and retrace the 25% of that range. There's a 26.67% that it'll go touch the 50% of that range. So that means that your stop should go below that 50% level, and then you see the 75%, there's a 10% chance. So if you put your stop at the 75% retracement of that range, there's only a 10% chance you're gonna get stopped out. Me, I'll probably go for the 50% because it's too much risk to do 75% of the range. But in any case, the point is that having data on your side is also a good thing. So whether you're back testing your own trade setups, or you're looking at sort of statistical analysis based on data, price data on NQ, that is sort of setup agnostic. It can be helpful for decision making, if that makes sense. I don't think I want to hold that stop up there. After this, basically we got these two candles. This looks like a reversal candle. This looks like a continuation candle. Oh, and back to the two candle, same side question you asked, Mint Dog. So like, basically, so one of the things I'm looking for is reversal candles. This looks like a reversal candle. This is a continuation of the reversal candle. So in that sense, like when you're asking, do two candles in the same direction indicate a shift in direction or a directional move? This would probably be the time where I do like seeing two candles same direction, is I want to see this reversal candle, and then I want to see a continuation candle in addition to that reversal candle. A lot of people will take this reversal candle, which I do as well, but if you're taking this reversal candle without a ton of context, you can get stopped out pretty quickly if this is just a pullback to continue going long. So additional confirmation for reversal is this continuation candle. But in this case, you see we came back into this consolidation and we're still consolidating. Still looks like we're going to potentially go short, but didn't have a lot of conviction or follow through beyond this candle. So two candle, these sort of reversals, I like seeing the second candle follow through. So this would be a reversal candle. This would be the follow through candle. And while this is red and this is green, this very well could be a reversal candle that's green. Not liking this price action. Had this nice reaction up here, came back down to the consolidation area. Now we're just like hanging out and kind of chopping around in here. You do see where it's trying to bounce off that daily level. We can get below. Bears definitely have an opportunity to push it down. Yeah, which daily level are you referring to? Oh yeah, you're talking about the. You're talking about right here. Or are you talking about the high of yesterday? Mint Dog, another thing that is really helpful is to try and understand why the market works the way it does. And if you put yourself in in the shoes of a big bank or a hedge fund, the orders that they need to execute are large, not like the orders that we're executing. They're executing, potentially, let's say, millions of contracts. And to do that without disrupting the price of the market and making it worse for you as the trader, or in the hedge firm's situation, worse for them, they need to strategically enter the market with orders that are placed in strategic areas so as there's liquidity there, so it in a sense hides their participation. So let's say right here, for instance, this is an area that's below the low of the day. And this is an example. It's not like the example, but this would be an example. You have hard selling going into this area. And if somebody wants to enter the market, if somebody wants to enter the market to go long, and let's just take price action out of the equation from what's happened at this point, but let's say we bounced hard and went up, you would have large resting buy orders in this area where there's going to be a shit ton of selling. So then now they have their orders filled without having to disrupt the price of the market, because they want the lowest price possible. Or in this sense, they want the highest price possible. So right when everybody's trying to buy the breakout, they are accumulating orders by being passive participants. So you want to figure out where those areas are, where you could potentially have an area that's full of liquidity that allows larger players to get their orders filled without disrupting the market. Because if they want to get a bunch of buy orders in, and it's not where a bunch of people are actually selling and they're getting handed these contracts, they would be pushing up the price. And as they're pushing up the price, their profit goes down because they're getting worse and worse prices, if that makes sense. So you want to try and have a basic understanding. I would say the best understanding you could get of why the market moves the way it does, who are the participants, and what are the prerequisites for those participants to get what they need. And it's all about trying to follow the big money. What is big money doing? Why are they doing what they're doing? And where could they potentially be making these decisions? And then when you can see it, you jump on the wave. And as much as possible, unless you have a big, wide range, you want to stay out of this kind of shit. This kind of price action is account killers. And earlier, you know what I was saying? Like, okay, we had this big move, this big move. Now I'm anticipating that we're going to consolidate a little bit. It's like, unfortunately, that's kind of how it happens. You know, the market moves in kind of spurts. And what it's usually doing, and you'll find, is it's looking for balanced price, where price is balanced. And it'll move from one balanced area to the next. So if we drop, we might anticipate that we come down to here. But you can look at previous balanced areas and find that the market moves from balanced area to balanced area. Here it was looking to find another balanced area up here and ended up going back to this point of control where price is balanced. And this is where the most volume is transacted again, which means there are tons of participants interested in this area. Same thing right here. Tons of people interested in this area. Now it's just about like how is price going to react here, and who are the big dogs in this area that are going to influence where price goes. Right now it's looking short. Didn't have we had a strong reaction up here, consolidation. Now it's looking like we're pushing to these lows, and hopefully, Adam, you still got this position on. It looks like it's going. Oh yeah, Adam's got. I missed that. Adam said any edge too. You'd say back test, back test, back test. Write down the win percentage, what time the move happens, what type of market condition it's accordingly on the daily, uptrend, downtrend, and then like Johnny said, forward test it because the market does change and you must adapt to the movement. Yeah, 100%. Not everything is different, just small things like placement. But the more hours you put on the charts, the more your eyes will adjust to be able to read it. Yes, I completely agreed. Back test. For sure. It's unfortunate. If I, if I was paying attention, I would have taken this entry up here. It just happened pretty quickly. Now I got to prevent myself from, having FOMO because that's that's a good size move. 70 points from probably where I would enter. I remember when we gap up, we have, I think it's a 78% chance to run back to the midnight open. Midnight open is really something, is a really important level. Just like yesterday's close and yesterday's high and low. All right, I'm going to mark this out. So this could be a good target to hit short. We also got this this gap here that we're gonna have to dig into and close below. You're out completely. Copy that, man. Yeah, looking like we're having a little trouble here. Yeah, that could make sense, Adam. I could see that for sure. Like, we've already created this like 200-point range here where we've gone up, gone down, you know, engulfed this. So I could see like us playing around in this lower 50% of this, and then eventually dumping. Would have been up 80% on options. Damn. Serious time now, dude. If we get some price action. Otherwise, I'm just going to be taking trades that go nowhere. Because look at this shit. Hopefully we get a little bit of movement in the PM session. I mean, right now this is kind of brutal. Nice work, dude. 13 points on yes. That's what's up. Yeah, that's a good amount. Probably like 50 points on NQ or something like that. Yep. Dude, it's all about consistent gains. Consistent gains and small red days. That's it. Controlling the red days. I'm wondering if we're going to bounce from here and not take this low right now. Revisit this gap potentially. Yeah, consistency is huge. So, yeah, Mint Dog, I would focus on seeing if you can get $100 a day or something like that. Obviously, you're gonna have red days in there, but for the most part, if you can hit $100 a day, that's kind of where you want to be as a new trader. Yeah, that's true, man. Today's not a day I would consider easy. I mean, if you were, let's say you were taking a VWAP bounce here, that would have been easy. This trade up here was a little tough to call. We were looking weak, but coming off of yesterday's trend day, kind of a difficult position to take. At least for me. Inverting this gap here, I took a quick scalp. I wasn't sure how far it was going to go, but other than that, this consolidation and this consolidation, I think, is a little tricky. The fact that we gapped up overnight after yesterday's trend move, I don't know. You could go either way, to be honest. But usually when we're trending hard overnight, my natural predisposition for the market the next day is to be looking for shorts. I need to stand up. Probably gonna have to wait for like 1:30 for something to potentially happen here. We got a new hourly candle coming in 3 minutes. All right, just to follow up on what I was talking about earlier with this hourly. So we were seeing that this could potentially be the reversal candle here and the continuation candle. What I was saying was that right here, about 25,000 was where I was anticipating this candle forming, pulling back to, if it was going to be an expansion candle, pulling back to, and then stopping somewhere below this 25,000, which is about 50% of this, and then continuing down. Unfortunately, I didn't capitalize on it, but the higher time frame analysis looks like it was correct, at least thus far. So we might anticipate this candle. Well, this candle is actually stopping here, but the next candle could be a follow-through candle, which is forming in 2 minutes. Unfortunately, this price out of this consolidation area is just kind of grinding, which makes it kind of difficult to read. And I think, one of the key tenets to being a good trader is being able to recognize when price is not easy to read for you, and it's going to be different for everybody, but that's really key to be able to know when to stay out and when price is moving in a way that warrants an entry for your entry model and the way you trade. Then you can hit it. But if it's not and you feel confused, but you're trying to take, entries, it's essentially gambling without probability on your side. If you're counting cards, you want to bet big when the odds are in your favor. Looks like this midnight price is a potential target here. I like how this candle picked up some speed. This candle has huge volume. It was the 1 p.m. candle. Man, kind of sucks. Everything in this area was kind of unclear, and now this candle is making it clear that, you know, I'm kind of missing out. That's okay. I don't remember if you asked or not, but would you ever think about having some type of mentorship course for people? I don't know. It's never been something I was really interested in. You know, I feel like there are a lot of people out there that have mentorship courses and it's kind of cheesy or something. But I don't know. You know, I think more than anything, like I would love to help people, like help people become successful. But it's difficult because unless you're proposing they trade exactly like you, it's like you're essentially kind of like I think I could be a coach. You know, if I was watching somebody live trade, I could spot mistakes based on what they want to do versus what they're doing. And that could be potentially cool. But creating like a whole curriculum for learning how to trade, you know, I think it's a lot of work. And so I don't know. I think coaching people or being in a mentorship sort of position where you're not hand holding from like beginner trader, here's what you need to educate yourself on, or here is the education on it, seems a little daunting. Giving people a simple framework, like the way I would see it is like, I feel like there are different stages, you know, that traders kind of need to go through from beginner to, you know, being profitable. And some of those stages are like, well, this isn't going to be your strategy forever. But right now it's like, pick a setup, you know, don't like trying to coach somebody from beginner to like reading everything I have going on in the chart and then understanding, you know, order flow and the way price, you know, tends to move with momentum and so on and so forth is kind of difficult to get somebody who knows nothing about the market to hear. So like, it's kind of like at the beginning, I would say pick a moving average setup or something like that to get you, you know, used to entering with a mechanical trigger. But is that going to be like the most effective strategy? I mean, maybe you could make it effective, but it's like, I don't know. If I was developing a mentorship course or something, it would be like in steps like that, where it's like, okay, here's what you need to know now. Here's what you should practice now. And just know that you're probably going to have, you know, some failures, but it's all about like, you know, training yourself mentally to be able to get in and out of trades. I don't know. I guess I could see it going off in so many different directions. Trade management, you know, what you need to know technically and, you know, some basic fundamental stuff. But I don't know. It seems a little daunting to do that. I do like working with people and I do like helping people, but I feel like putting out a mentorship course so that people can buy it is maybe not the best way to actually help traders. I feel like the best way to help traders is like, okay, let me watch you trade live and let me help you coach and let me help you come up with a process that's going to help you improve. Maybe something like that. Yeah, man, if you got the gusto to create a curriculum like that, I mean, I know that you can make a ton of money off of doing that. I just kind of hate the association of it.
being a trading educator is basically like being a scam artist. Yeah. It's again, unfortunately, it's like we can see, okay, so like let's look at this compared to this. These both kind of have the same signatures where we're rolling over slowly. And here we're rolling over and then eventually picking up speed. It's sometimes kind of difficult to catch these, especially when a lot of the time lately we've been rolling over and then pumping right as we hit one of these levels. But it's not doing that today. Yeah. Yeah, man, I think you got to always do that. And so if you can find a way to, you know, be an educator that actually is truly adding value, then fuck yeah. Here's midnight right here, right below where we're at. I think we'll likely find a lot of volume kick in right here around 24,800. That's definitely an interesting idea. Yeah, you create essentially as a prop firm education program. All right, we just hit midnight. That's an interesting stat. When we gap up, there is a, what is it, 70 something percent chance we're going to hit midnight. But if we gap down, there's a 92% chance we're going to hit the midnight price. All right. So you can see we have a shit ton of volume coming in. Look at this right here. Right here is the flipping point. Looks like we're rejecting off of the 0 line. Could have a potential bounce here. I might be willing to take a long here. Maybe a little bit more confirmation. Look at this dump. Making our way to the close of yesterday. It's right here. I got my hotkeys messed up. Whenever I try and extend a line, it places in order. There we go. We're gonna run to the restroom real quick. Be right back. Man, look at this. How many points is that? 25,000. Let's see. About 400. Might be interested in a bounce trade happening somewhere around here. This is yesterday's close. Keying into this level right here. I'm gonna watch what price does. All signs are pointing short at the moment. So I need to see a strong reaction here. No buyers present. In all, no aggressive buyers present, I should say, in all of this. No reaction yet. This is yesterday's point of control. So right now we're just basically melting through all these areas that I've been keying into, and this is yesterday's point of control. So this is another key level. Trying to wait patiently to get a reaction at one of these areas and see that we have some buyers still in the market, because I mean, so far you could pick any point along this line and go short, and you've got no support. You just could have made $1 billion off a short here. Option premiums are up 1,400%. All right, I'm going to mark this area, previous day close. Man, I hate being patient is it's tough, you know? It's a really tough and important part of trading. Because you see all this move happening and you can't help but have a little bit of FOMO, but it's not the right emotion to have. I think we could get a bounce off of this previous day close. You're a lot of things, but yeah, FOMO is not one of them. That's one of the most important aspects of being a good trader. It's tough because in, life outside of trading, I'm very impatient. Doing look at it as if I didn't miss it. It is, yeah. Lots of selling happening down here. Lots of absorption happening down here. So we got lots of passive buyers stepping in, but not a lot of, no aggressive buyers, only passive. Impatient is bad in some sense because it creates urgency, but sometimes urgency in the market creates bad entries. 1,000%, yep. Yeah, you just got to be patient when you're participating in trading. If I'm sitting in traffic, I'm impatient as fuck. I hate sitting in traffic. More selling happening, more absorption happening. I mean, I shouldn't say absorption is happening. We're just having a lot of. We're not having the follow through you might anticipate from all this hard selling, but it could be coiling up and it could be ready to happen. We could pop this previous day high. You have to listen to some music or dive into deep thought. Yeah, audiobooks are good for traffic. Teslas are also good for traffic. Here we go. Push down here. Yeah, man, just put that on self-driving in traffic. I'm confused. Yep, that's exactly what's happening. What is happening? I'm gonna close this. I'm so irritated with the way my chart is functioning. 754. We're all the way up here. God. I don't know what to do. That sucks. That sucks. Yeah, dude. It has been. And again, I think it's my computer. Like I reached out to customer service, but I was we're all the way up here. I wanted to take it down here. But my entry was like up here. This is so we're at 43. I don't know, man. My chart's behind, and I would have liked to have taken this bounce literally right here at 24,669. Looks like we might be coming back down, but who knows? Because we're at 7. I don't know. I got to restart my platform. Yeah, I need to fix it for sure, man. Need to fix it for sure. I can't be trading on price action that's 5 minutes early or 5 minutes too late, I mean. Yeah, my RAM, I got 64 gigabytes of RAM. It's my process, it's like my computer processor for sure. Yeah. Oh man, how frustrating is that I missed the bounce I was waiting for? And then missed this short entry up here. Ugh. God. Oh man. That was a 100-point trade. I just missed because of my platform. Yes, today's great. Today's wonderful. That pivoted directly on yesterday's point and control. God. Yeah, man, I can. I think I've just been procrastinating because I know that it's going to take a lot of work getting it reset up. I have a lot of, I mean, it'll obviously be worth it. I'm just going to have to spend like a weekend transferring everything and setting up hotkeys and pretty much everything I need to trade and stream and all that. I'm going to need to basically duplicate what I have on this computer and put a new computer together. And if something goes wrong, I can always fall back on using this computer, but I just know it's going to be a little bit of a project. And what I was doing was I was looking at just replacing the computer, like the CPU. But then I was looking at like the cost and like the CPU that would be the best CPU available that would be compatible with my motherboard is still like more expensive. Like probably by like, I think it's probably like $350. And then, but compared to like the newer CPUs for, you know, the a motherboard more recent than mine, it's like for a $250 CPU, you can get something that performs like 40% better than that $350 one. But it would require me to get new RAM and a new motherboard and basically I need a whole new everything. If I don't want to just be replacing the CPU, which is like, if I'm going to replace the CPU and I'm going to pay $350 for it, and it's not even like remotely close to what's the best out there, it's like, oof, should I just replace the whole thing? Probably. How much was my PC? Probably in total, whenever it was new, I don't know, probably like $1,400, something like that. And it's like, if I'm getting a new PC, then might as well be getting a new graphics card and all that, you know? So I'm just gonna have to do some research, pull the trigger, and just do it. I like new shit, and I like shit that works the way it's supposed to work. Okay, that should be an easy fix. I'm gonna have to restart this again. Do you want to save the workspace? I'm trying to figure out how to isolate this problem because like I shut down the platform, it doesn't do anything. It still comes back and it's delayed, and it's like my CPU isn't running, but it's like once it happens, I don't know how to reset it. So let me see if I can. I'm in Control Alt Delete now. NinjaTrader is not open. Like, I can't take trades, you know? It sucks. Yeah, that's what I use. I actually think they just came out with a web-based NinjaTrader that I could potentially look into using. I'd rather not, but if it's my only option in case of emergencies, I could use that. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. What's up? Let me get my dog real quick. One sec. Hold up. Watching this 24,800 for a potential resistance. This is killing me. Price is still off. I don't know. Okay, it looks like we're pushing through. Oh man, I'm very, very frustrated that because I would have been I would still be holding this, I think, from down here. Oh, this is a over 100-point move now that I just flat out missed. because of my charting. Fuck. I know. It's terrible, dude. Like, what the fuck is this? I'm watching the trading view chart because it's the only chart I have that's accurate. 'Let's see when the new candle forms, and then I'll know how far off it is. "55 seconds to be exact." God, this is kind of ridiculous. I got to take a video of this and I got to send it to them again. I'm looking at my CPU isn't maxed out right now, so this whatever's happening, I don't know what. I don't know why. Take a video real quick. Did it just catch up? I just closed my volumetric bars and it might have just caught up now. Let's see. Looks like it's working now. Get off my screen. All right, well, I'll just keep my delta bars closed. Let's see. What is happening? Yeah. what a bummer this is to miss out on this move, you know? All right, I'm gonna stop complaining. Price is updating now. I'm just now gonna have to look for another move. That's all. Yeah. Yep. Looks like we're trending up now. Otherwise, this area we're at, kind of like right here or potentially up here at this value area low, could be a potential entry to go short. But after we've been short, now we're bouncing from up here, taking out these levels. I don't know yet. This was the move. Looks like we could be coming back down for a pullback. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm gonna do some push-ups. I gotta talk myself out of tilting, you know what I mean? Okay. Coda, what's up, buddy? Okay. Hey. You wanna go outside? You can go outside if you want. You can go out there? Okay. You can go outside, bud. All right, we're hitting this value area low. We also tapped into this gap here. I'm gonna move it to the 5-minute. This is a pretty strong move. I'll give it a little shot. This is really, I'm going to close this. I'm going to close it. I don't know why my copy trader isn't working. I'm going to, I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what's going on. It's one of those days. It was like, what was it? Was it Friday? Last Friday? Technical problems. All right, new 5-minute candle coming. Let's see what's up. Looks like we're going up. Maybe not. Take a stab. All right. Luckily, my copy trader still isn't working. Copy that, man. I might consider shutting it down early because I got a lot of frustration. I should be able to talk myself out of being frustrated, but I'm having a hard time not being frustrated when I continue to have like these technical issues. Yeah. 24,900 watching this level. The only thing I think of is the technical issues somehow need to go. Yeah, 100%, dude. This trade copier got really good reviews, and I've been having problems with it. Charting issue. It sucks because it seems to me like it's the only thing that fixed this was that I can't use like the delta bars. It's probably too much data at once, and then it caused this chart to mess up. So, but that sucks because I I use it. So the only fix really is to replace the computer. Okay, I figured out the copy trading issue. I think I did. We'll see. Okay, yeah, I think it's fixed. I think it was user error on the copy trading. Essentially was using I wasn't using the proper leader account. So I was using like the leader account as one of the accounts that was being copied to. So it was like basically not copying to the other account, so it wasn't creating like a copy loop, if that makes sense. But anyway, got that fixed. I'll take another stab if it looks decent. Looks like a likely scenario is I'm trading a pullback. But I was thinking we might make our way at least down here so I could scalp it. Feels a little bit like I'm trading scraps right now. Yeah. I mean, I might just have to take my L for the day. It like I'm kind of boiling inside, you know? I know. What do we got? It's 2 p.m., 4-hour candle coming up. I just don't know if I'm going to get, I don't know if I'm going to get what I want. We've already got, you know, the range of the day put in, and now we're coming back to equilibrium. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that, man. You know, there's like there's so much that goes on when you're tilting in your head that you're not realizing like where's my anger coming from, and like I can hear my internal dialogue like saying like you were patient through all this bullshit, you were patient, and then your one opportunity gets spoiled right here, and it makes my blood boil. And the only thing to fix it might be walking away. So I think I might have to shut it down, man. I can probably just count today as a win because I did not continue to take tilted trades. You have internet issues and PC fucked up your trades and parents and everyone thought I had no clue. Damn, that sucks. I might take a short here and win or lose. I shut it down after. So keep wrist tight. I'll be at the top of this candle. And, you know, looks like this is going to be a pullback move. I'm still trading scraps, but I'm seeing this could likely play out to come down here at least. Yeah, this definitely would have been a big change in the P&L for the day, catching this long move. Yeah, I think this was my move for today. Missed that short, missed that long in the beginning of the day, and I think this was kind of my move. You know, there are kind of three opportunities I think on the day. There was this long, there was this short, and then this long here. I think that was kind of probably gonna be it. This right here, I'm probably trading a pullback. If I can squeeze a little bit of profit, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm gonna break even. Yeah, I'll get that fixed sooner rather than later. All right. So let's see. Basically ending the day pretty flat. All right, man. Well, I think that's it. That's it for me. Better step away. I'm glad I did get that one win. This one little quick scalp. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather walk away like break even on the day. To be honest, I never do that. Walk away like break even. But I think today is probably a good day to do that. Anyway, I think I'm going to take the day to do everything I can to prevent these technical difficulties from happening in the future. I'll probably do some computer shopping and, probably hang out with the animals and get some sunshine. No FOMO. No FOMO. Just got to be happy walking away with not taking a huge L on a day like today when I could be very easily for me to tilt after today. But yeah, man, you have a good day too. We'll hopefully get some better trading in tomorrow. But congrats on your day, brother. You had some solid wins. Anybody else out there, peace out. Have a good day. Hope you guys stayed safe. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm going to try and be on early tomorrow.